thank God for that. Thank God for the service. Now, would you please help me welcome our pastor as she comes to bring the word of God? Give her a hearty amen.
It's good to be here. Thanks to all the people in the church that prayed for me. I thought when I got up this morning, I usually get up around 5 o'clock and get my bath. And I thought, I got to get there today. I've got to push this. I got to push for the military people. A lot of them are gone. They're in harm's way. We need to pray for them every day. That God would be with these men, women, bring them back safely. He's the only one that can do it. I am thankful for our military, whether they're right in the battle, in the heat of the battle, or whether they're here. You still sacrifice your life every day. We thank you for that. My husband was in the military for 20 plus years, so I know the sacrifice that's made all the time. It's a tremendous sacrifice. And no matter how you look at it, if you're a wife, spouse, you're going to serve too. I remember one time I went somewhere and I pulled out my ID card and the man said, "Ma'am, thank you for your service." I said, "I didn't do anything." But then it dawned on me, yes, I did. I gave up a lot. I had to travel when I didn't want to travel and running overseas, going to Germany, back home 11 months, going to Germany. My husband's in Vietnam twice before the war started and then after it started. Then it's always so much to do. And a lot of it gets left on the mothers that are behind, because if you can't go with them when they leave because of a lack of quarters or whatever, you got to do everything yourself. Take the kids for shots. You got to separate what's permanent storage, what's temporary storage, what's going overseas. It's a real job. So I thank all of the people that are here this morning, and to our military families that I pray for every day, because I know what the price is. You know, some people would say, well, I can't even imagine what it's like. No, you can't. Until you walk in those shoes, you cannot. And our military is not hardly appreciated the way they should be. Not hardly. Sometimes I'm saddened by that. When the men came back from Vietnam, there was no great homecoming. Nobody made any big deal out of it. But I looked at some things I want to read to you this morning before I get into this message. And when I looked it up, I was bothered by it. As a whole, older veterans make up most military suicides. Roughly 65% kill themselves at the age of 50 or older. Washington is a state that is higher according to new government data that show wide state-by-state disparity and suggest social isolation. Gun ownership and access to health care may be 70 miles away to get there. Not fair to our soldiers. Every day of the year, 20 military people take their lives every day. That number is way too big. If it was one, it would be too big. And I think sometimes people take that route because they feel like, well, they're not really appreciated anyway, and I made the sacrifice, I did what I could do, and nobody really acts like it really matters. But it does. And if Colorado Springs Fellowship can do nothing else but say to you that we appreciate you and for the service that you give, and it's not just words, and we really do. We really do. It says Montana, Utah, Nevada, and New Mexico have the highest rate of veteran suicide. Veterans in in big chunks of those states rather, must drive at least 70 miles to get to a VA medical center. And then we're watching some of the veterans right here in our church that need medical care that they just run them around and run them around and run them around. It's so terrible that you would go overseas, spend your life, do all that you can do, and you come back and they just keep putting you off. I said to Denver, he had some damage in the Gulf. Was it the Gulf War where you got that damage? In the Gulf War. Vietnam. People got affected by Agent Orange. And they don't want to take responsibility for it. These men need help. They need medical care. So he goes to doctor to doctor to doctor, only to be told something. We don't know what it is. We don't know this. We don't want to know. We don't know that. It's not good. I think if any of us would take a moment to say we care, take a moment. If you run into a military person, hopefully you can show them a kindness. You know, I'm preaching this morning about love and kindness, but you know what? There's so little bit of it in the world anymore till people are alarmed when you want to do something nice for them. My son and my daughters were out this week making contacts with military people, showing them a kindness, showing them that we care about them. It's amazing how people think, are you for real? The love of God is shown in such a small way, and in some cases not shown at all. Then I look at that and I think, we haven't seen enough of God. We don't know who he is. And then when somebody walks up and they represent God, people think, something's wrong with you. You want to do something nice for me? Why? Why would you? And they say, oh, no, I can't take that. And my son said, he said to one lady, if somebody want to do a kindness for you, wouldn't it just be nice on your part to say, thank you? And don't reject the kindness. There's too little of it in the world. She said, you know, you're telling the truth. I'll take it. Sometimes we pay for their lunch. Sometimes we give them money. Sometimes we do different things. But we have people from Colorado Springs Fellowship in the community saying, we care. We really, really care. And I don't believe much in these people who say they care but never do anything. The word says don't love in just word only, but in deed and in truth. By what you do demonstrates your love. Anybody can talk. Anybody can say, you know, I love you. But the person who shows you that is a whole different story. So I'm saying more and more, let's get into the community. Let's see our military people. Let's tell them you cared about. If no other church ever did it, we're going to do it. If nobody else ever did it, we're going to do it. So you don't just have to sit back and say, well, nobody else does it. That's the reason you should do it. God has proven himself through Colorado Springs Fellowship by showing people that we care. We're not only there for the soldiers, we're there for the homeless. We are there for those people who can't afford to buy school supplies. We're there for those people who don't have anything for their kids for Christmas. We're everywhere. But this is not about talk. This is about doing something about it. You got to want to do it. And I'm telling you, God looks down from heaven while we make all these excuses. If God was this, why don't he do this? Why don't you represent him? Why don't you be a good representative? Why don't you do it? Instead, we make excuses why we cannot. And there's too many people. Some of these people that's committing suicide feel like they don't have a reason to live. They feel like nobody cares. God cares. And you and I are the vessels in which he chose to extend our hands and say, we can just talk. Talk is the cheapest thing you can do. But to put action behind it makes a difference. I remember when my husband passed away, the captain came to me and said, Miss Banks, said, we want to be there for you during this difficult time of losing your husband. We want to be there for you. I thought that was nice. Except I found out that he was there to be sure if I got that mid-month check to send it back. How horrible. And so he came up to me and said, Miss Banks, if you get the mid-month check, would you please turn it back in? No, I won't. And that's what I said. No, I'm not turning it in. Are you kidding me? 2 weeks pay? You want me to turn it in? My husband gave his life. Does that not mean something? Or do we just talk about it? I said, I'm not. Now, most of the time you're in the military, you want to get your pay changed to twice a month from once a month. If you don't get it in a certain time, they can't get it that month. They had no problem getting that check. It was a few days. They got it. They stopped it. That it never got there. I don't think that we're treated fair. And I think that's all the reason why we ought to thank God for caring enough about us to reach out to us. We ought to thank him enough. He didn't have to do it. But if nobody loves you, if nobody cares about you, he does. He truly cares. And I think sometimes because we don't know who he is, we've never gotten to know the one who gave his life for us. We've never gotten to know the person who loved us enough to sacrifice heaven and come to this world. His Father loved us so much he loved us. Until I'm going to send my only son, I want fellowship. I want to save man from himself. Man is self-destructive. In every sense of the word. If there was no devil, man would destroy himself. So he is. As I looked at this message, I sat in my chair. And I thought, God, somehow, some way, help me to get it across. How we need to take time to thank God. I mean, we go all these other places, we do all the other things that we're doing, but can we take a moment to thank God for what you've done for me? You can't imagine. Somebody told my daughter, somebody says, I never heard of a church doing this, because they don't do it. But they're waiting on for you to fill the offering plate. People want to say, wait a minute, doesn't giving go both ways? It goes for me, it goes for you. It ain't just you put money in the offering plate. I got to put it in too. And we reach out. And every day of your life, you take a moment to say, God, we want to thank you. I told the Lord the other day, I remember when we were in the military, sometimes we got paid once a month for a while. And the week before payday, everything was short. There wasn't enough money. You were stretching everything. Sometimes Charles would have to park the car to hold on to enough gas for the last week and hitchhike to the post. I had twins. I had a total of 7 children. I had twins. I remember one time, because they don't pay you much money. If y'all getting paid like millionaires in this day, we got nothing. I mean, $117 a month was our money. Wife and 2 kids, $117 a month. And so I remember things were so tight. And I didn't have any milk for my babies. They were maybe 7, 8 months old. And I remember if you opened my cabinets, you wouldn't see any food. We just made it from day to day. If you looked in the refrigerator, the only thing that was there was a bottle of cold water. There was no food. I kept thinking we We get enough money to buy something for today, a little bit to buy something for tomorrow. Not enough. I remember I had in the cupboard, I had um, some powdered some powdered potatoes in a box. And I took it down and I mixed it up in water and I fed my babies that for milk. The lady across the street said to me when she found out later, she said, Rose, why didn't you come to me? I said, we don't bother people. We make it. That was my husband's saying. You don't ask people for nothing. You make it on your own. But sometimes you need to ask. Sometimes you need to ask. There were times when it just wasn't enough. There was time the army would move you and you didn't get a lot of enough money. They give you a little something for moving, but never enough to cover everything. So my heart goes out to the military. I said to the Lord, if you ever make me rich, and I'm not talking about a little rich, a whole lot rich. If you ever do, I will make it my point to reach out to the military, to the homeless. They called my house maybe a month or so ago, and they said, Miss Banks, would you like to contribute to the Veterans Fund? I said, sure, I always do. He said, Miss Banks, do you know we got over 200,000 veterans living on the street? I said, you got to be kidding. No, over 200,000 veterans don't have a place to live. You know what? When these men go away to war and come back, they ought to have housing for these people. There should be housing. Not any veteran that has gone to war and gave his life and sacrificed limbs. Some of them almost dead, never, their life is never the same. And they're on the streets of America. Should never happen. I thought I would make a difference in this world. God has blessed me a great deal, and I reach out to people all the time. It's never a time. I remember what it's like to grow up poor and have nothing. I was telling somebody the other day, I couldn't understand why my grandmother thought that we wasn't poor. Bear with me. She said, she come home one day and said, I'm going to take these clothes y'all got and give them to the poor kids. And I sat there looking, the poor kids. Somebody's poorer than us. I remember she got all me and my sister's clothes. Everything except one outfit. So I'm going to help these poor people. That troubled me for years. How did you take the only thing we had and gave it to poor people? I didn't know nobody could be poorer than us. But you know what? Me and my sister wore that little navy blue gabardine skirt, a little white blouse, 7 days a week. There was nothing else. That's all we had. My Aunt Carrie could sew. Not the way, good sewing. She was an amateur, but she went and bought some material one day. I'll never forget it. And I'll never forget this dress. That dress was black and white at the bottom and a solid yellow top. She made me a dress. Oh, my God. That was the prettiest dress. It didn't have any frizzles on it, nothing like that. It's just a pretty little dress. It was more than that navy skirt and that white blouse. And whether you know it or not, if you wear a gabardine too much, it starts shining in the back. So, boy, we were shining all over the place. So to this day, I live my life for somebody else, not me. God has truly blessed me. But I have truly blessed others. I've truly blessed others. You got to understand, you know why most people are unhappy in this world? Because they live for themselves. People that live for someone else, those are happy people. When I got a lot, I'm happy. When I ain't got much, I'm happy. No matter which way it goes, I'm happy. On the side of my bed, I have a massager. Only about that long and about that wide. As you get older, you need to get your blood stirring in early in the morning. So it's right by my bed. When I wake up, I go to massage. Before I get out the bed, get this blood going, because otherwise, and I told him, I said, thank you for letting me have enough money to buy a massager. I seen the time I couldn't have bought a massager because we needed bread and eggs and meat. I couldn't have bought a massager. That's a blessing to have one. I have 3. So if I go in the next room, if something's stiff, just get the massager. I thank him for everything. When you come from where I come from, you appreciate. We see people now, they don't even appreciate. You can reach out to try to help somebody because you love them. They don't even appreciate it. It's almost like, well, you should have done it. No, I shouldn't have. I don't owe you, neither do God owe any of us. Yes. That's why I'm talking to you this morning. I'm not preaching. That the Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn you. You know what? When somebody's real good to you, it makes you feel like you want to be good back. And God is saying, I reached out to you. I've done things for you. I let the sun shine on you. I made a way for you when you didn't even serve me. I did things for you and your family when you didn't deserve it. But he says, I did that because I wanted you to love me back. Can you love me back? Most people don't even give God a chance. They'll come here this morning. Let me tell you, Colorado Springs Fellowship could not do what it's doing for the soldiers without God supplying the need. So at the end of the day, it really ain't us, it's about God. It's about his hand being extended to you, saying to you, I love you. Every soldier, every military person that's here this morning, you know what he said to you? I love you. I can't tell you how many people, when they got that $1,000, will whisper in my ear, you'll never know how bad I needed this, Sister Rose. This is all we needed to close on our house. We were short $1,000. Now we can close on it. I don't see them. Where are you? Thank God I couldn't have got my house without God. That Sister Rose didn't just do it. It was God that proved himself to you. Yes. Another lady said, Sister Rose, I didn't know how I was going to get my dog out of the vet. He had surgery, and I don't even have the money to pick up my dog. This you gave me this morning. I can leave church and go get my dog. You might say it's just a dog. No, dogs are really, really something we cherish. They're important to us. They're a part of our lives. I don't want to see no dog done wrong, none. I had one in my life. I'll never have another one because I went through too many changes when I had to put her to sleep. I thought, no, I'm not going down that road ever again. I had the cutest little poodle. Her name was Penelope. I wish you could have met her. She's the sweetest thing. We spoiled her rotten. She came to every church service. She didn't miss a service. She stayed in that office. She knew how to act. She wouldn't bark, nothing, just quiet. But when they started singing that dismissal song, she was stretched at the door like that. And she'd wag her tail when we opened the doors. Let's go home. The sweetest little dog. God even loves them. He loves the birds. I started to have a lot of birds in my yard, and they tell me it's because of all the greenery and all this stuff, so everybody wants to live there. So at first I started putting out bird food and stuff for them. Well, not only birds came to eat, other folks came too. And I thought, my God, where's all these animals coming from? They were just flocking in our yard. But what takes the cake? We lay in the bed sleep. We hadn't put any food out this morning. The bird got up on the windowsill and said, I couldn't believe it. I said, who's knocking on the window? When I opened the curtain, it's like, where's the food? Yes. And then there was another one, his cousin or somebody went down to the glass slide doors from the other bedroom, and he was out there doing the same thing. We want our food. So I fed him for a while, but I started getting some of everything in that yard. And I thought, oh, this is not working. It was all kind of things, weird animals I ain't never seen before. Everybody was coming for something. And I thought if it's for birds, only birds going to eat it. Anybody eats it. I don't do it anymore. God's going to supply their need. It's just not going to be Sister Rose with all them people in that yard. But I love those birds. I was in prayer meeting one day. Let me tell you about thanking God. Right up under my deck, they had put chicken wire across there to keep people from different ones, birds building nests or what have you. So they sealed it off. Well, one day I was in prayer and I happened to look out the window. And this bird somehow got up in that chicken wire. I don't know how he did it. And he was so confused. He was trying to find his way out. He went that way. He went this way. And he kept trying to flap his wings, but the space was too narrow. And he looked desperate. Like, where's the way out of here? And I said at that window, I said, God, I said, you're going to have to direct him to the end of this deck because that's where the opening is. He don't know where it's at. He said, you had a prayer meeting about that? Yeah, that's better than you have every day. So I looked at him and I kept saying, God, please lead him to the right place. I said, he can't get out. And after a while, you may not believe that God hears prayers about things that you don't even think about. And after a while, that bird made a turn and started going right down that way that I asked the Lord to take him. And pretty soon, he got out. Does God care? If he cares about the birds, if he cares about all these other things that people oftentimes take for granted, he surely cares about his people. So now listen to this. He said the reason why I reached out to you, I wanted to love you. I want you to know I cared about you. I want to know you are important to me. I care about your pain. I care about your misfortune. I care about everything that could happen to you. I care about it. Now maybe the society is not giving you what they should give you, but if you'll look for me, I'll show up. And I'll show up with love for you. We don't think enough of God to come to church on Sunday morning, and surely not Sunday night, that's enough. This is the person that cares about you more than anybody in the whole world. He really does. He loves you. He said, I just want to be there for you. I want to help you. We go on vacation, Florida or California, either one. I've never seen people that get on the beach and they're sun lovers. Boy, they love that sun. That beach is so full. And it doesn't matter if you can wear a bikini or you wear a sack, you're on that beach. And I looked at them and I thought, wow. Some of them had, the towel was so big it looked like a sheet. And they lay out there in that sun just like that. I'm thinking, my God. So I wanted to see close up, what it looked like. I wouldn't have been on the beach. Because I don't go on the beach. I'm already brown. We got it going on, y'all. We really do. We don't have to wait 1 minute. I feel sorry for you. But you said, oh, the sun, I'm going to come out so tan. We were born with our tan. God so loved us. He gave us something. Yes. Because with all these people in the world, he gave us black folks something. Here you go. Let me give this to you. Let me do this for you. And you know what he did for us too? He made us happy no matter what our conditions were. You know when people were slaves, they sang. They were just singing up a storm. Black people have a way of laughing and getting humor out of most things that some people say, are you laughing about that? Yeah. I'm not going to feel any better to cry about it. Let's laugh about it. We talk about each other. And I'm telling you, black people talk about black people so bad. And they laugh at each other. You can't offend a black person talking to another black person because they're coming back on you with something else different than that. We can thank God for being black. There's some privileges here. There are some disadvantages, but with God, we got advantage. Yes. You know what I find out in this day? Very little gratitude shown for anything. You know, when our uncles came by and gave us a nickel, oh my God, a nickel. We go down there to Mr. Tobias's store because we lived up over the store. Go down there to the store. Oh my God, you didn't know what you wanted. You had so much money. God, what am I going to buy? So you're going to get a couple of oatmeal cookies, a slow poke, some bubble gum, some jawbreakers, some Mary Janes. Y'all know about Mary Jane? Yeah. Oh yeah, we bought that stuff, honey, and we were happy. Come out that store with a little bag full from a nickel. Not in this day. You may look at me and say, my God, how old are you? Back in the day. So listen, have you ever noticed that you can be nice to somebody and they never appreciate it? We're living in that time. People are not grateful. They don't appreciate a kind deed. What you should be given is not because you deserved it. It's because somebody loved you. And his name is God. His name is God. If our military people go to war and you escape death and you come back, the first place you should head to is a church to say, thank God he brought me out. He didn't have to bring you back. We had friends that died over there that never returned home, left their families behind. We need to say thank you. Thank you. Every day. For the little things. Thank God for it. Because if you don't thank him for the little, you'll never thank him for the big. Because 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to see the big. Thanksgiving brings blessings. If we'll thank God for it. Quit feeling like you're entitled to something. You know, just because you're born in the Banks family don't make you entitled. You got to understand that. I used to tell my kids, you don't have to have what you have. You don't have to be blessed. Y'all want my blessing. Because Rose Banks is blessed, you blessed. Yes, but don't think you're entitled to anything. No, you're not. But if I choose to give you something, at least look up and say, thank you. If God do something for you, look up and say, thank you. He just want to hear you say thanks. You moved this morning. You got out of your bed by yourself. You took a bath, you brushed your teeth, you combed your hair. You could have been one of those people laying flat on your back with somebody doing all those things. We take it for granted. I can walk. You don't just have to. Thank God. And how do I thank him? I'm going to give my life to him. I'm going to serve him. That's my way of saying thank you. What can I give of myself? David said, what shall I render to God for all his benefits to me? What can I give you, God? Your life. We don't want to give God our life. We don't want to sacrifice. We don't want to do what we need to do. We're trying to get around things. We don't want to do little things. I was talking to a lady yesterday here in the church, and I got real upset about that. I wasn't feeling good. I thought I don't have to feel good to tell you about yourself. And I thought she was asked to help in the media room just to edit once a week for an hour and a half. Now they're editing those tapes because they go on YouTube. So they have to edit them. No, I can't come. There's nobody here to keep the kids. So well, bring them with you. I don't want to do that. We're talking about God here. Anything that pertains to the kingdom of God, you should be saying, yes, count on me. Count on me. That's what you should be saying. If you need a hand, I'll be there. We don't want to be inconvenienced. When he went to the cross, he was inconvenienced. Because he went there to suffer for me and for you. We're the ones that should have been on that cross. We're the ones that should have been in hell. But it didn't happen because he went in our stead. You should be looking for things you can do in the church. What can I do? Is there any way I can help? No, I don't even want to be called on. I have a serious problem with that. Serious problem. See? Ungrateful, not feeling or even showing gratitude. Take a moment. Say thank you. You didn't have to remember me. Thank God that he put it in your heart to do it. It was God that put it in our hearts to reach out to our military people, and we didn't know nobody else was doing it. Look, reach out. I want them to know I care. I want them to know I love them. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. Each folder that they get that's given to every military person, sometimes we get up as high as 42 one time was our highest. I wish we'd get 100 eventually. A lot of them in the war zone now, but those cards, those gift cards, that $50 bill in there, I tuck that away. That going to Golden Corral, the church people put that in there. You got a gas card, could have bought a lot of gas not long ago with this money. But now you need about $100 for a quarter of a tank. Yes. It's going to be a sacrifice. Do it. Well, I don't really have it. You got it. You don't want to do it. That means something that I could do for myself. I'm not doing it because I want to help somebody else. Man is selfish by nature. Very selfish. Very self-centered. They think only of themselves. And if you ask them for a favor, they look at you like they think you're crazy. Reach out to people. He said, I want to show my people that I love them, that I care about them. And I need you to be the vessel or my hand extended to these people. That they may know. It's sad when you go out and people say, oh my God, why would you want to do this for me? Because nobody's ever did it. Nobody's ever, it's amazing how many people you can meet that they've never been shown a kindness by nobody. That's horrible. You got a plenty of everything, share it. Make somebody else's life full. Be a blessing to them. So you know what? I just want to go out today. It ain't about me. I just want to talk to somebody. I want to take that frown and turn it into a smile. And I want to hear that person say, I was going to take my life, but the good deed that you did to me made me to know there's still some good people in this world. And that God still cares about us. Listen, if God has never said, that's enough, I ain't giving you nothing else. He keeps on giving. I was thinking about the sign that we're getting ready to have made for the yard for Christmas, because we got this great big Christmas gift that stands about 20 feet high over the manger scene. And on the fence will say, it is the gift that keeps on giving. He never stops giving. He gives you more and more. And he told David one time, if what I gave you wasn't enough, I would have gave you more than that. God is a God of giving more and more and more. Where are you at? Loving kindness. God so loved you so much till he was willing to sacrifice his own son for your life. Because I love you. I'm giving my only son to come to a sin-cursed world and die like a criminal. Because I want you to know how much I love you. Do you never feel like you need to give something back to God? And we're talking about your life. Do you pray in the morning? Do you pray at night? Do you think about him at all in the course of a day? Think about it. God is on my mind all day, every day. I'm thinking of something. You've been so good. You've taken care of us. We could have died. We could have been killed in an accident. You've been taking care of us, taking us where we need to go. And we don't even want to come to church and say thank you. And the scripture says, don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together. Come together. That's where we all receive strength and feel good and what have you. Come to church. Don't want to go to church. You stop and think about, you couldn't move, you couldn't think, you couldn't move your eyes in your head without God. You couldn't do anything. He said, without me, you can do nothing. You can do nothing. Okay? Loving kindness is when somebody treats you with such tenderness, and God does that with us. Consideration. Kindness is the quality of being friendly and generous. We don't like that word right there. Friendly is okay, but generous, let's step back. Generous means I'll give it if I have to do without it. I cannot count the times I have done without it that somebody else might have it. I cannot count the times. And it's a part of my life. It's the way I live and breathe every day. What else can I do? If I hear of something. One called me this week and said, Mama, one of the other members in the church is asking, could we help him with his rent because he don't start work until later and he don't know what he's going to do. I said, yeah, we're going to pay it, of course. That goes without saying. They don't let you be a member of the church and you homeless? No. No, if we can change that, we're going to change it. Whatever it takes. And I have people coming to me from left, right, east and west, north and south, and whatever's above and down. Coming left and right. And you know what? I never feel like, oh my God. It's like, what else can I do? That I might make somebody else's life better. That I may lift that burden. He said, bear ye one another's burden. If I'm going to bear your burden, that means I got to do something to lighten it for you. Get up under, can you offer? Nothing is worse than you having to ask somebody for something nobody really wants to, for most people. Let's put it like that. But think about it. Think. I remember when we were going through difficult financial issues when Charles was here and in the military. And I needed $20. That's not a lot of money. $20. You know what I did? I stood in front of the mirror and said, here's how I'm going to do it. Because I'm nervous. I'm a wreck. I hate to bother you, but could you let me borrow $20? No, that don't sound right. I don't know nowhere else to go. I was thinking maybe you could help me. You know what I got a lot of times? There's nothing I can do. You could do something. You could do something. I make sure that people do not, most people that come to you for 20, they need 40. That's the truth. But if I just can get to 20. So most of the time I say, is that all you need? Yeah. I said, take 40, take 50. That ain't all you needed. I've been there. I thought I need 100, but I'll sell for 20. Right now, I'll do something. See, we make people, put them in this kind of position that they don't want to ask, and you don't make it easy for them. Make it easy. Kindness will do that. then I want to know, are you okay? If I see any of our members in church and they look down, I want to know what's wrong. What's wrong? We had a member of our church. I didn't know what was wrong with her. She was sick, very sick. Nisi, Eric's wife. And I looked at her in church. I thought, well, she's sick. I said, want to go to Nisi after church and find out what's wrong with her. Well, at the time, she didn't know what was wrong. She was extremely sick. She went to the doctor and found out she had a mass tumor covering most of her brain. And she was so sick. And we were at the hospital, and I pulled it up online to look and see how the type of tumor she had in her brain. And the thing looks like an octopus. The fingers, it comes out from the brain like that, and it spreads across the brain. That's the most grossest looking thing I've ever seen. And so they say, we can't get all that cancer out of there. Can't get it. Because you see, this piece of the brain over here, those fingers of the cancer is all in this, and they're stretched out across the whole brain. So we can't do nothing but cut around it. The only person going to give her a miracle is God. She can't get it otherwise. She can't get it. You know what? Somebody can look at you and say, look like something is bothering. I'm not asking her, it might be some money. I ain't got no money, child. No, something was bothering her, but most time it's money. I thought, no, Go back, ask. For God's sake. Say, you okay, honey? And say, I'm not doing too good. Well, I'm praying for you. You don't even get a chance to finish. You don't even finish. I'm praying for you. Sometime I need you to go down to King Soup and get me some bread and meat. And then if you want to have a prayer meeting, go ahead. But I need some bread and meat. I need some potatoes. You going to pray for me? I'm hungry. Prayer changes things, but you go get my food first. He said, look at this. How can you say you have the love of God in you? A brother or sister knock on your door in the middle of the night and have need of something, and you said, come back another time. I need it today. You will see your life change drastically if you become God's hand extended to his people and quit sitting somewhere hoarding everything for yourself. If God hoarded everything, where would we be? The sky, the moon, the earth. I don't know where y'all going. I need to get my earth up here where I'm at. What we do? Stop for a moment. Stingy, selfish people. God is not selfish. He's not stingy, and neither is he greedy. He's none of those things. He's looking for our welfare. He said, I know the things that you have need of. Even before you ask me, I already know. I will supply all of your needs according to my riches in glory. All of it. I'll take care of you. But we'd rather serve the devil. The devil ain't going to take care of you. He going to beat you up, kick you around. And when he gets through, he going to take you to hell. He ain't worth serving. Serve God. See? Kindness is a behavior marked by characteristics, a pleasant disposition, consideration for others. It is considered a virtue. It is recognized as a value in many cultures. It is considered a value for you to be kind. That's why everybody kick you in your teeth, because that's what you do every day. Be kind to somebody. Put your arms around them. Sometimes it's just a hug. Just say, I love you. Just a hug. And God is saying, I need to use you and make you as a vessel for me so that you can reach out and just hug people. And say, oh my God, the hug feels so good. Oh my God, thank you for that hug. It's the love of God. People are not accustomed to feeling God. And that's why they're so disappointed with life. You and I must be a vessel of honor to him, for him. I want to take a moment. We're so busy. Somebody asks us to take us away. Well, we're not going that direction. You could turn around and go. Well, you'll have to give me some gas. Get off of it. If you got a tank of gas already, where are you going to put some more at? Go on. So you know I'm going to make the best of this. You can have a great life if you live for somebody else. Say, God, put your love in me. Help me. You know what kindness is? It's an antidote. You know what that is? That is something that is like a medicine. It is, it counteracts what bad things that somebody did to you. Maybe you done got to the place you don't trust nobody, but all of a sudden, somebody comes up and says, don't be afraid. I don't trust people. I don't trust people. I've been hurt too many times. Kia said they were testifying to a man about coming to church. He said, I don't go to churches no more. You won't believe what they did to me. That's horrible. She said, well, come to our church. Give it a try. He said, I don't know. I just don't trust nobody no more. They say they claim they're good. They claim they're nice people. But they done a lot of damage to me and my family. That's horrible. Somebody's got to answer for it. Stop for a minute and say, you know what? I'm going to not think about me today, but I'm going to think about somebody else. What way can I bless you? What way can I lighten your load? What way can it become better? See, become somebody's antidote. The medicine, that's what I needed for today, that hug. And sometimes it's just a smile. We don't even want to do that. Person look at you and smile, you go, what's he grinning at? He'd like for you to respond back. If I smile at you, will you at least smile back? I do that sometime in the pulpit when I'm sitting in the seat. And you look around, you see these different people, and sometimes you'll go, and here they go. I think you're missing something. You know how valuable that smile is? Oh my God, it has made people's day different. You don't want to smile? Hey, so be. Go over here. But every once in a while, I'm getting ready to close on this note. I ain't near about got through this message, but I may come back and bring it. I always say that, and then I don't do it, but I may do it. This is with black people. Say, don't start talking about our folks in front of these white people. Hold on a minute. Now, sometimes I'll come in on the platform, and you'll see some black people sitting through the audience and white people, and this is what you get from black people. Now, they don't know me, but they figure she's stuck up and she's this, that. You don't know me. Give me a chance. So I look out there and she must think she all that. No, I don't. And you know what changed it? When I was preaching the message and I said I was brought up in the projects in St. Louis, Missouri, where people were shot and killed in the daytime. Drug dealers were everywhere. All of a sudden, here they go, look. Wow, she's one of us. Yes. Just to hear this for a moment, I'm thinking, quit judging me before you hear about me. Don't let nobody tell you about Sister Rose. You find out. I don't need you to tell me. I may not look like I'm from the ghetto, but everything says that I am. I can't change that. And I'm not ashamed of it because God brought me out of it. He can do the same for you. You don't have to die that way. He want to be kind to you. Come on, let me hug on you. Come on, go to church. There was a lady in here one Sunday. She stood up to testify. And she really had some needs going on. And when I went home, I thought, when I go back to church tonight, I'll take $500 and give it to her. She didn't come back to church. I thought, why? I didn't even have to give that away. I was going to give her $500, never showed up. Where your blessing is, sometimes you never get it because you never show up. Show up at the right place called church. In this church, anything might happen to you. It's the truth. I want you to know, every military person, that God is looking out for you to protect you, to take care of you. What are you going to give back? What will you render to God? What will you say? I think I'll go back to church tonight. Oh, no, we don't go back on Sunday night. Why not? Well, and if they tell you anything, they have to lie because there ain't no reason. Well, they can come back to church. If it felt good this morning, it'll feel good tonight. Then next week, your life is so full. Say, boy, I noticed when I went to church, things just seemed to change in my life. I started going to church. Then after you start going, then you're going to ask the Lord to save you, to come into your heart, live there. Give me power over sin. If you never come to a good environment, you'll never do good things. It doesn't happen. So while you're sitting there this morning, you musicians and singers, come on. I made it through this morning. Yes. I kept saying I got to get to church in the morning. I got to preach that about loving kindness. People are not showing enough, and neither are they giving enough. So I got to do more than that. If I went somewhere and somebody showed me a kindness, where do you live? Yeah. Who are you? Where did you come from? It's unbelievable. And Maddie, I'm so glad to see you here today. You are the prettiest thing. So blue eyes, oh my God. I said, God didn't give us colored folks blue eyes because we look funny. Our eyes are mostly brown or black. You may find a few hazel Negroes, not many. Not many. That's why they start buying those contacts. And you look at this black person thinking, honey, you're not fooling nobody. Don't put no blue ones in there because you're going to look like a clown. But God has given us all something. Let's start living our life giving something back. Boy, I hope you take this, what I've said today, and realize we love you and we are God's hand extended to you, saying we want to make your day better. We want to lighten your load and do what we can to help you. And in return, you lighten somebody else's load. We keep it going. It's a cycle. Keep it going. We care. You don't have to have money for everything. Well, honey, I'll let you have that couch I got, but it's going to cost you at least $500. I paid $1,000 for it. Give it to the person. You don't know, so it was hard for us to get that couch. The thing is tired anyway. Let somebody else have it. If you're sitting there this morning and you want prayer, that's why God ain't gave you a new one. And when you sit on the one you sit on, the springs let you go on down the bottom. Give somebody something. Don't give them junk. If I got anything I'm going to give somebody, I never give them something that I wouldn't have. And if it's worn out, don't give it to them. Because somebody say, it ain't worn out to me. Don't give it to them. Give them something better. Another thing people do, you know what they say? Come on, go down to the store with me. I'll get you something. Matt told a man this up here in front. So the man said he was hungry. Matt said he'd take him to the store. He take him to the store. He going to get him some groceries. And Matt is kind of tight with $1. He's getting better, but he's tight. And so the man kept loading stuff in the basket. He was getting the finest cuts of meat, pork chops. And Matt said, I ain't got that much money. You know what he said? I had to go back to the bank. And what was wrong with that? You got some, go back to the bank. I bet you ain't said that to another person. I guarantee you. I thought Matt's going to remember every day the last time I said, I'll get you something. The guy was putting stuff in there I don't even eat. Well, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And you should have been happy as the Lord. I could see Matt in my mind. What's he doing? And too embarrassed to say, don't put nothing else in this basket. So he had to pay for it. But think how happy that person is. They got some pork chops, some ham, all this good meat steaks and all this. Hey, you should have been shouting. He was looking confused. Because I'd have never took that road. God needs some people you can depend on that say, I'll go the extra mile. Give the extra that you claim you don't have. And God said, I'll come back and I'll bless you for it. Reach out to sisters and brothers, people in the community. They need to know that God loves them. And you and I are the one who's supposed to take that love. Stand to your feet.
I could help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. If I could help somebody as I pass along, if I could help somebody with the word or with a song, oh, if I could help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be